Ho, ho, ho! Today we'll be doing something that so many B2B founders ask me all the time about how to do. Because if you're a B2B founder and you're online, you're probably being told all the time that you should be creating content. You should be creating some sort of videos, some sorts of webinars, or some sort of asset where people can see you and go through your content in depth. Today, I'll break down exactly how we do that. And we do that through these micro videos for YouTube. So during today's video, you'll get access to prompts that take your existing business and details and scripts complete videos that you can just read from a script from and have a high performing YouTube video that sells your audience on autopilot. So let's get into it. You need three things to be able to do this. So let's look at each of them. So first of all, you need your ICP memo that we made during day one. You need your offer memo that we made during day two, and you need one of your lead magnets that you made on day four. So if you have all of these gathered, you're good to go. I recommend using Gemini Free Pro for this. It creates the best scripts for these types of B2B audiences, in my opinion. But you can use GPT-5.2 or Claude or something like that if you want to. But Gemini is the best, in my opinion. So get all of these together. If you don't already have them, I highly recommend you to just go to these links and to actually execute on these prompts first. Because if you don't have really good inputs into these prompts, then it's not going to be as great when it comes out. I can't guarantee its quality in the way that I can if you go through everything as intended. So do that. Then we get into the execution. So we start with our first prompt, which is a concept extraction prompt. In here, you want to just copy this prompt, and then you go to Gemini, you paste it in, and then we need to just locate the brackets for ICP, offer, and lead magnet, and then we need to edit what's in there. What that means is that these three things here that you can see, contextual data, user inputs, target audience, core offer, source material, here you just need to add your stuff. So make sure that you do so. And when you've done so, hit enter in Gemini. So when you then send it, you will get an output such as this. So you will get three different concepts back. So these three concepts, they will be three different YouTube videos that Gemini suggests you to make. Your job now is to read each of them and to just see which one do you feel the best with, like which one do you think is actually best suited for your type of expertise. So you read through these and you pick one of them. In my example here, you can see I selected concept one, which was the trust gap physics. So here you can see I have the estimated length of it. I have like some title idea and the logic for how this video is going to unfold. And then since I selected one of the concepts, this is your next step as well. Just answer in the chat, I want this one. I want number one, number two, number three. Then you will get a lot of questions that come out the other way. These questions are ones that we're now going to work on answering. And I know that your first instinct might be, okay, I'll just sit and type the answers to these questions. I highly recommend you to not do that. What I do in all of these cases is that I open Fireflies or I open some audio recorder, and then I just imagine that I have a junior employee who is asking me all of these questions. And then I sit and talk. I just sit and talk to myself for anything from 20 minutes to an hour. And I use that as the source knowledge base for my video. Because if I make that elaborate, the video is going to be tailored around the stuff that I know, not just some AI trained knowledge, which doesn't necessarily make sense. So you want to make sure to take that seriously, do it over audio, and be extremely elaborate. When you have done so, we move over to the next prompt. So here you can see the deep dive interview prompt. So now we want to take these steps, this prompt here, and we want to use the deep dive interview that we've just done to create an outline for the whole video. So you copy this prompt here, you go into the same chat as you were already in. You can see here is my new prompt. And then you change in the input data only this part here, user context answers, which is your answers to the questions that you just got. Pretty obvious. So you just paste that in and then you send it. So here you can see I pasted mine in. You can see this is just a transcription of me talking. And then when it's sent, I get a master blueprint out for how the video is going to be scripted. So here you can see part one, part two as in the blueprint for the script, where you have phase one, the hook and setup, phase two, the pivot. You can see you have a time allocation, you have a target word count, like everything is scripted in a way so that this actually follows the best protocols we have to make high converting B2B YouTube videos. So you get the whole outline here. If you don't want the full script, you can always use this outline and then actually just start trying to film it from here. But I recommend that you run through the next step, which is to actually script things. So then we move to the next prompt here. Here, the scripting loop. The reason why it's a loop is because we can't just send this prompt once and ask it to script the whole thing, because then we're limiting the quality of the final script because we're asking the AI to do too much work in one query. So we want to split it out into each of the parts of the script. So the way that we do it is that we need to fill in specific user input fields every time. So you can just follow my lead right now and do the exact same as me. So you copy this prompt here as well. You paste it into Gemini, just as I have done here. And then you need to go in and edit all of these 4 input variables inside of your prompt, just as I have done in here. It's a bit long and messy to actually read, but you can see that I have added stuff here. So you want to add in under the master blueprint. There you want your blueprint that you just received here. So you want to copy the whole thing and add it under the first part here. And then under user context answers, you remember this term. These are the answers that we made earlier. So the long transcript that I had, you want to paste that in here into the prompt. And then current task is going to be the specific section that we want the AI to write right now. So that means that we're taking, in all cases when we start, the first part here, the hook and setup. So then we just copy this whole thing here and we paste it into that part of the prompt, meaning this part here. And then previous context, here we type none for the first time. But if you're a smart guy, you understand where we're going with this. So we then have the full prompt and then we send it. So this one is updated for me for the first part. And then you can see here I have phase one, the hook and setup. So here I have a visual description of what's happening on the screen, and I have a literal script of what I'm going to say during this video. What I have done is that I've also just pasted this directly into a Google document to make this easier for myself to see. Then our next step is to repeat this process. So we want to send the same prompt here over and over, but we need to change the input variables. So if you look at the input variables, which ones do you think we need to change? It is not the master blueprint because that is the same. It is not the user context answers because that is the same. But the current task, so the current section that we're going to write and the previous context, they change for each time that we do this. So now we want to take this, and I just like to click copy prompt here, like this. And then I paste the same one in here because then I have all of the inputs that I made in the first place. And then I just need to go in and edit the parts that needs to be changed. So not the master blueprint and not the user context answers, but the current task and previous context. So under current task, you change it to the new current task, the next section that you haven't written yet. And under previous context, you just copy everything that you've already received, the stuff that you already have in your script. So you paste that back into Gemini here, and then you send. And then you get phase two, the pivot here in my case. So here I have a new part of the script. I copy it, I paste it in here, and then I go back and I do the exact same thing again. I copy the same prompt and I change what phase that we're going to write for now, and what is already there, I update it with what is already here. So I do this over and over for each of the sections until I am through. And when I am through, I have a full document here with a full script for YouTube video with visual descriptions for what should be on the screen, so that you can hire someone to actually do your video editing and everything is done intentionally. And then at the end of the day, you have a really great YouTube video which is scripted and meant for B2B purposes to convert your type of audience to actually become clients and to genuinely help them. So that's it. These prompts do an incredible job. This is completely unheard of, and I've never seen it anywhere else being done in this way. And you're getting this all for free. Just reminding you, there's no obligation for you to pay us something to do any type of action. Just copy these prompts and go for it yourself, and you'll get all of the gold for yourself. So that's what I had to share during this day of the calendar. If you want some help with actually getting this set up a bit further, then I recommend you to pay attention for a short minute more. Because if you are a B2B founder and we look at what we're actually doing here with making these types of videos, we are replacing that third party that typically creates referrals for us, because majority of our clients as B2B founders will traditionally have come through referrals. And the refer here is just a third party that we try to replace in our marketing by just building trust without the third party. So if you look at how we can build trust as B2B founders, then we have four different ways that we can build it. Some are more scalable than others, some build more trust than others. The most scalable thing we can do is content assets, just like the one that we just created live. So we want to be creating as many content assets like these as possible, because it doesn't take us time and it builds trust so that we don't need that third party referrer. So if we look at how this fits in to our whole infrastructure that we're building through this Christmas calendar, then to reiterate what we've already gone through in the previous days, during the top of funnel, we do different sorts of activities like LinkedIn posts and LinkedIn outbound to generate emails in compliant ways from our audience. Then when we have these emails, we start nurturing them. The two ways that we can nurture our audience in a good way is through evergreen emails. So emails that go on loop with different resources such as this integrated, and awareness ads on Facebook where we target the same lists as we've already generated leads from, so that we can just become a really huge part of our audience's world, even though we don't have to become some huge influencers. The stuff that we want to show them in all of these places are these content assets. There are these types of YouTube videos that both teach them something and make them interested in getting our help to just sort it out faster, just in the same way as you're getting curious about how I can sort out your problems faster. So we want to integrate these types of YouTube videos into the nurturing sequences here, so that we just build trust faster. But how do we figure out which ones we build trust with the fastest? Well, that's through our tracking, where we are able to track how much people are consuming of our emails and on our ads. And based on that, we have an algorithm that places each lead into either a cold bracket, a warm bracket, or a hot bracket. And as a smart B2B founder, as I assume you are for watching my videos, then you know where this is going. The ones that are in the hot brackets are the ones that we actually want to spend our one-on-one time following up and selling to. And that's how you build a high leverage AI marketing infrastructure, which is actually tailored for B2B businesses like yours, where your audience needs to have extreme amount of trust in you to actually buy your products. That's how you do it. So during this calendar, I'm showing you exactly how you can set up each individual part of this and how you put it together. But if you're already busy and you're seeing that you're already drowning in your client delivery and that you don't really want to be the guy who installs marketing systems in your own business, then what I suggest is that we take a call. You have a booking calendar below here that you can find a time with me or someone from my team, and then we will do an audit of your business to just see how this fits into your specific scenario, because every case is unique. And then I will give you all further information that you need to learn about the system and how you can implement it, and you can learn how we can help you do it as well. If you don't, then that's completely fine. If you do, then we'll have an amazing partnership. Anyways, if you want our help with it, then book a call below and then we'll take it from there. Have an amazing day.